Hi, I'm Faith.
And I'm Neysa. And this is
Go Ladies, a podcast about navigating life, love,
and so much more
from a 40-plus perspective. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Oh, somebody been practicing.
I'm gonna join the choir. I'm gonna join the choir.
Okay. Hi.
You're hilarious.
Hi.
Why is your mic cover flipped up?
Is it? Oh, hello.
So bad.
Okay, let me stop. Hey, we've had time off. We're still dirty though.
And are. So.
Hi, Nannies.
Hi, friend.
It's been a journey.
It took us around the world to get here.
Yeah, but we're here.
Yes. So, hey, everybody. Mm-hmm. Okay. I feel bad for even asking. I'm going to ask anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I know we've been missing, but make sure you like, subscribe, share, and comment because you don't want to miss these announcements that are coming in this episode.
Come on, church announcements.
I know, we got church announcements. We got some pivots. We got some things going on.
Yeah.
Before you even freak out, this is not like we're disbanding. So let me just go ahead and, put that to rest. That's not what this is.
Yeah.
Because people say that like they about to break up.
Yes.
You can't get rid of me, girl.
And likewise.
We
ain't going nowhere. We're locked in.
We locked in.
Because we're family.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's been a month of Sunday since we've gathered here on the couch.
Mm-hmm. Life be lifing.
It does.
As we say. So
it does. And so here we are.
Yeah. But we're back.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And, I thought about even let me try to post more updates. And I was just like, I don't have it. I'm like, we're good. We'll be back in a minute.
Here's a proof of life.
Yeah. Proof of life. We'll be back when we come back, which I believe a lot of you can relate to.
I recorded a lot of, and we're coming back, coming back. Then I was like, we ain't coming back that quick. Because
we don't want to get your hopes up.
Or lie.
Yeah.
It'll be lying. I'll be lying. I'm like, we're coming back. And then 2 minutes, I'm like, all right.
We believe in being transparent.
Right. Yeah. So it is what it is. So, but we got a lot of phone calls from people.
Yes.
A lot of text messages. A lot of, am I missing new episodes? Girl, no.
I was like, have you listened to all the old ones? Because we got a lot of those.
We got 5 years.
We do. Oh, girl.
We got 5 years.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
So.
We're here.
But, okay. First things first.
Papa freaks all the honeys.
Where have you been?
Where have you been all my life? Oh, you're welcome. That's a new segment. No, I'm joking.
Yes.
But Neysa, I'm not going to go back that far, but I mean, I've been working. I've been doing a lot of work. I've had some work travel. That's happened. I think some of it gets into our topic, but having aging parents who have different needs now in this stage of their lives.
Yes.
And just being there for them and,
Yeah.
I'm not quite in the caretaking stage, but checking in more.
Being intentional.
Checking in more, physically being there, not just phone calls, just adding on to the intentionality. So I've been doing a lot of that. Am I forgetting anything? Because I tell you stuff, so I can't always remember when it comes time to record. I'm like, what have I done? I don't.
Yeah, you've been to Memphis.
Oh, I did go to Memphis. I had some graduations. Yes. Yeah, I went to Memphis. My nephew graduated from my alma mater. Go Tigers, go. And they sang the fight song at the end of graduation. And we were excited. My family was like, oh my God. Because I'm like, go Tigers, go. It was lit. Mm-hmm. I saw Penny Hardaway, the coach of the men's basketball team. But I have yet to really run into him. I'm sorry, I'm on a tangent.
You are, but it's okay.
But I have friends that see him, and I'm like, I want a picture with Penny.
We'll get you a picture with Penny.
He was my fake boyfriend when I was younger.
You could go to some games and be out in the mix.
But he's at you know where he's at sometimes? Soulfish Cafe, where we had the food from.
Oh.
Yes. Like, they do like a remote there sometimes.
Well, then you need to be there. You like that place?
I do. Anyways, but yeah.
Okay.
Graduation, life stuff. Both my nephews have now graduated.
Yes.
Shout out to all the graduates. It's graduation season.
It is
so
graduation season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
I went to Derby.
Yeah.
Derby week. Let me be very clear. Derby week. I went to, actually, for those who are in Louisville, I went to Derby.
The real ones, no.
You know the difference. So I did that. And I've been in Louisville more than I've been here in the month of May, it feels like. Like, I've been in Louisville 50 times.
50 lim.
There was a funeral that I went to. I had Derby one week, I had a funeral the next week, and then I went back up to do some mental things. Yeah. And so, it's been a time. Yeah. It's been a time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Same for, you mentioned I did Memphis. For me, Atlanta was April, May. So I'm trying to figure out when I'm going to go this month. So, yeah.
Yeah. Girl.
You let me know. You want to do the changes? Or we said we're going to talk about our changes. So basically, as a result of our schedule and life changes, we are recording now on Sundays. Correct. We decided to do that. And our episodes won't be as frequent as you are used to them.
Correct.
We've decided to do every other week. Correct. Still on Tuesdays, but just every other week.
Yes.
And that helps us. Again, being realistic in what we have the capacity for.
Correct.
And so, we've said, again, from the beginning, and I'll repeat it, if you are new here, we are going to take care of ourselves as we're trying to take care of others. But if we're not together, we can't help nobody else. So if that means dialing it back a little bit, that's what that's going to be. Doesn't have to be forever. Might just be for a season. But you will hear from us, maybe just not as frequently, which is okay.
I'm actually okay with that.
I am too.
So, I feel like we're out of order, but it is what it is.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
You drive.
No.
You take over.
We're going to just cope out this month.
We going.
I was on my way back from Louisville, and I called you. And I was like, hey, I know I've been in Kentucky.
Yes.
And we could have gone back to Zoom. I didn't have the emotional bandwidth to do it at that moment. I just did not.
Yeah.
There's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, And I said, well, when I get back, we can do it on this day. And it was literally you saying, well, how about we...
Yeah.
And I was like, well, we can... Because you know me, I'm always going to over-schedule, over-ambitious. It takes you to temper me sometimes.
Yeah. Okay.
Often. To get me together. Because my first thought was, okay, we got to make up for it. And so how about, since we're so busy right now, if we spend an entire weekend and do all the shows and we're going to record 4 episodes in the course of one weekend, just spend all weekend together and do our shoots and all that stuff. And then we can release them, of course, over the course of the month. And Faye said, or
I did, yeah.
Or we could just not do that.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
Well, what do you think we should do? And she was like, I really enjoy not getting up at 8 o'clock on a Saturday right now.
Right. Which was my idea initially.
Yes.
We'll say that was my idea.
Yeah.
Let's do that. And then, but yeah.
But I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I too probably need a day to rest. Because I get up so early.
Yes.
All the other days.
Yes, you do.
That I too need a day where I can ease into the day. I was like, okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, are we still going to record 4? And you were like, no.
I was like, no. Because the issue being, and we're being transparent, is the consistency. So my thing is, why would we add more if we can't always consistently try to do 2?
Exactly.
So, and I love that you're a big picture thinker.
I am. But I need a big picture staff.
Yeah.
I just walk in on a set and it's all set up. Yeah. And they're production people.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, cool. I can just come in, do hair and makeup and sit down.
And they edit and do all that. Yeah.
But no, it's literally us setting up, checking the mics, checking the sound. Yeah. And I know in the grand scheme of things, people are like, it ain't that much. But it really is. We're trying to make sure it sounds like something. Yeah. And you're trying to give a good product. I don't want to just give you guys some BS. Right?
Absolutely.
And so when I think about all the things, I'm just like, okay. And then you got to edit and post-production and all that. And I'm like...
Less is more right now in this season. Yes.
It is.
So
and there's a word for the season we're in.
Okay.
More so for me than you.
Okay, talk to me.
I'll include you because you're auntie.
Oh,
and so
I'm
the
auntie.
sandwich generation.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yes.
It's when you're pressed on both ends.
Yeah.
And I think that's exactly where we are. And so many other people that I know in our demographic. Remember, this show's for the 40 plus.
Hello.
And so we're sandwiched between, and my kids are grown.
Right.
Now, I have some friends got little bitty kids.
Yes,
I'm
you
praying for
do.
them real hard. But on bended knee. But my kids are grown.
Yeah.
One doesn't even live in the state.
Yeah.
You know? They're still parenting and concern and things that, weigh in. Like, my oldest was in Vegas last week. And I know where she is. I'm sure she's safe. But she did say, my plane does not land until 6:30. Please don't call me. Talking about, I'm going to call the police. You don't hear from you soon.
Right. Yeah.
Because, I'm always thinking she done got snatched.
Yeah.
She's like, I am so grown. I'm not getting snatched.
Yeah.
But in my head, I'm like, I don't hear from you. I'm going to call the police. They got to come check on the door. I will do a welfare check in a heartbeat.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so there's still that parenting worry that goes on, even though she's out of state. And then the one that lives here, there's still parenting lessons being bestowed.
Right.
And so that's real. But then the other side of the sandwich, the other piece of bread.
Yes, come on.
Is parenting our parents. Oh.
Oof.
Ooh.
Nobody prepared us for this.
When I was pregnant,
Yes.
there was a book. It was called What to Expect When You're Expecting. And I read that book.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there was like some websites and you go some classes and stuff.
Yeah.
Don't nobody tell you what to expect when your parents are aging.
Yeah. Yep.
And I'm going to say this, but I hope you understand where I'm coming from. Luckily, I've had to navigate declining health and transitioning with my husband. And I say luckily because I had to learn a lot on the fly in that time. Right. But those lessons now allow me to apply it here, which I think, okay, I'm not new to this.
Right. Yes.
But it's still hard. And look, again, so many of our friends are in the exact same boat.
Yeah.
In the exact same boat. Because when your kid is little, like, you are the authority.
Yep.
There is no, what's the word I'm looking for? There's no miscommunication about the power structure.
Okay.
Because I am in charge. I am your parent.
Yep.
You are my child. Yes, you are an individual human and you have autonomy. At the same time, it is my job to keep you safe, fed, and grow you into a productive citizen. Yeah. Yeah. And when they misbehave, there are consequences for that. When you are parenting your parents, the dynamic different.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you do one misstep and you go here.
Oh, gosh.
I raised you.
Hey, right.
who are you?
Hey, right.
You, they mama, not my mama. And I'm like, you right, girl.
Yeah, you're just simply trying to help. Right. But yeah.
The dynamic is different.
Yes, the dynamic is much different. Very, very different. Yeah, and it's different even for like mothers versus fathers. You factor that in. Like my mom, thankfully she's still pretty she got it together for the most part. Technology, they're just a little rough. But true story, I'm gonna tell the story. They may never hear this anyway. And if they do, that's okay. I'm coming home from the grocery store. I get a text from my mom. The text says, call me. Now, she could have called me.
But she texted
me, call me, exclamation point. I automatically think something's wrong, right? So I call. Well, I got you on speakerphone. My stepdad's having trouble with the Disney Plus app. He was trying to watch the little Star Wars show. I'm not making this up. I was like, oh my God. I said, I thought something was wrong. let me call you back. I gotta bring these groceries in the house. I'm going to call you back. But that's what I have to. For them, it was an emergency.
But they're watching the show right now.
I'm like, this doesn't qualify as a real emergency.
Commence if I can't get this show.
So that's what I have to deal with them, which I'm grateful for.
Right.
It's not serious issues, but it legit is like streaming and apps, and I'm just like, oh my God. So yeah, go ahead. What? I know you do.
Understand.
Y'all don't even got the same channels. Yeah, I remember you telling me that story.
I'm in a different city. I promise you, hey, Money.
Hi.
My mommy does listen.
Yeah.
She called me one Christmas and said, well, when does Miracle on 34th Street come on? I said, I bought you the DVD.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
But I like to watch it on the TV. I promise you this is a conversation we had. Because when it has the commercial breaks, I can do other stuff. Now, if you have a DVD, you can hit pause whenever you got stuff to do.
That's too much. Nope. She wants the commercial.
So I had to log on to Louisville stations to look and see when Miracle 34th Street is going to come on.
Absolutely.
In Louisville. Yeah. But here's what's going to make me, ooh, you have siblings too? Yes. I have siblings.
Yeah.
My brother. Tyson. Hello, little brother. I am an Android household.
You are. Oh, here we go. Yep.
Android household.
Yeah.
I ain't an iPhone.
She's not.
I'm not a Mac girl.
Not. Nope. Oh, no.
I don't like them, honestly.
No.
You know?
Yeah.
Apple who?
All right, Papa.
I don't even like apples.
Okay.
Unless they cooked it in a pie. I don't like apples.
Wow. Okay.
Like people just eat apples. I don't do that. I don't like them like that.
Okay. We're unpacking some serious stuff here.
But my brother knew my mom was coming to see me and sent her new iPhone for me to switch over. Nasty work. Right.
Yeah.
And so here I am navigating the iPhone for an account that I don't even own.
You don't.
And I'm just like, what is going on? And I know he just at home giggling.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got him.
Yeah.
No.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
we have a lot of. We
technology.
could just trade all the stories.
Yes, technology. But here's the thing, though.
What?
So I know my oldest child is listening. And she's like, but what the time you call me, because my oldest child's an accountant, and accountants deal with Excel. They know all the Excel tricks, tips and tricks. I am a communications person. Tell you all about Word.
Yes, you can.
I got you on Word.
Yeah, hello.
But I got you on PowerPoint.
Yeah, you do.
I ain't got Excel.
You ain't got
So I've called her in the middle of her work day and be like, hey, my formula ain't formula. Can you help me? And she was like, Mom, just email me the file. And she'll either put the formula in, or she's like, just share your screen.
See?
Ma, you gotta hit this. And I'm like, thank you, girl.
I was gonna say, you got next.
I do.
Or you got now.
I know.
Yes.
I know.
They have to help you.
I know. She'd be like,
yep, they have to help you.
like, thank you. Now, she did say she's gonna do an Excel workshop for me when she comes back into town. So that way I can know the tips and tricks for Excel.
Like that.
Because I believe in teaching a man to fish.
Absolutely.
Not just giving them fish. So.
I love that yours is real. I text my nephews about slang. I'm like, now what does this mean?
No.
We talk about YNs all the time, but and what's the one the kids they say type shit or whatever. Yeah. So I'd asked baby nephew about fine shit. Like, is that really a compliment? If a guy is saying that, he broke it all down for me. He was like, you do that you use that in the beginning stages if you're talking to a girl, but like once she's your girlfriend, you want to switch it up. And I was like, this has been a wonderful lesson. It's just in the middle of my work day. I don't know why I text him. I was like, okay, so what is this? Yeah, mine's slang words.
I know. I haven't had to ask her. I pay attention though to what the youngest daughter says, because she says tight shit. Tight tight shit. And I'm like, context clues.
Right. What is it?
That means I agree.
Carry the one.
Right, I agree. Okay, I got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Times 3. All right. Yeah. We're there. We're so old.
And look, I'm okay. I'm okay with that.
Hello.
Because
so we get it on both
words
ends.
evolve. Yes.
They do.
They do. Back to the parentals.
I'm sorry. Yes.
In planning for, obviously, life, right?
Yeah.
Evolving and all those types of things. I have found myself being super focused on gathering documents.
Yes, you're excellent at that.
Like,
Yeah.
I was like, what attorney do we need to call? What do we need to do? Like, I mean, hell, you signed my stuff, for me.
Yeah.
But having all my documents and things checked off for not only for myself,
Yeah.
but also making sure that my daughters know how these conversations, which they don't like to have. I mean,
Right.
which I get it.
Right.
I get it.
Yeah.
It is very much so a triggering situation for them. But I'm like, I would rather you guys know than not know.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then doing the same for my parents, you know, like, let's talk through this. What does this look like?
Yeah.
What do you want? You know, what is your best case scenario? How can I achieve that for you?
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
What documents do we need to have drawn up? And we did some of that when I was home most recently, just to make sure, okay, are all the ducks in a row here? You know, to make sure that should something happen, we are prepared, you know?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you see and you hear about all these families that fall apart.
Yes. Yep.
Fighting over 2 cents.
Yep.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
My mom said one thing to me years and years and years ago. And she was like, my parents raised me. She's like, people don't owe you shit in death. I know the word says it's supposed to be a blessing to your children's children. I do understand that from the biblical standpoint. I talk about that in real life right now.
Yeah.
You know, my parents raised me, you know? So whatever they leave to me, that's their preference.
Right.
I'm not banking on, well, once daddy dies, I get to do, you know.
Right.
To me, that sounds really horrible. Like he's an asset, not a person.
Not a person.
You know?
Yeah.
Same thing for my mom. Like, I just think about those things, but I don't want us to fight over them.
Absolutely.
You know, like, let's just lay this all out here right now and call it a day. You know?
Yeah.
So.
It helps mitigate a lot of problems. If you do that on the front end while they are in relatively good health, sound mind, get it legally, you know, sign, all those things, then, you know, not to say you don't have to worry about it. You know, people will feel how they feel, but you won't be able to deny this says this, and this is how we're going to carry it out.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
So, I've been doing a lot of that.
Yeah.
Thinking about those types of things. And even about, I know I want to be cremated. I've always said I want to be cremated. Now, look, I'll fall out now. You gotta wait 7 days to cremate me. Make sure I'm gone.
Right.
You know, don't make me pop up like Lazarus and
Come
be
on,
in the fire.
crazy.
I don't want to be Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego.
All three of them.
You know, don't want to be them. But once I'm gone, then I thought about where I want to be.
Go. Yeah, where do you want to be?
And I want to be a tree.
Okay.
I want to be planted and be a tree. 'Cause I don't want to go to Goodwill. That's like my biggest fear.
Okay.
Because, like, you know, Christopher's on my fireplace.
Yeah.
And I know if I pass, then one of the girls will take Christopher.
Yeah.
But I'm supposed to take my great grandkids, supposed to just carry Christopher.
Yeah.
Like, no.
That's true. Where do you,
And I don't want to end up at the Goodwill.
Okay.
So, at some point.
I don't want you there neither.
Right. So, I'm just, because you go to Goodwill, you should earn to the Goodwill. I don't want that.
Amen.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Random things.
Yeah.
You got to think about stuff like that.
You do.
You know?
No, you do. You have to have the conversations. And no, they're not easy, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't have them. You should definitely have them.
Yeah.
Have them early, have them often. Plans change.
For property,
all
for
of it.
Businesses, succession planning is important.
Yeah.
That's a big topic that some cousins and I were talking about, because we had farmland. Right? And there was farmland. And the farmland is no longer in the family because nobody in the next generation is a farmer. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
So maybe y'all can weigh in on this one in the comments, but we see a lot of that where I'm going to use Silver Sands, for example. Silver Sands is a restaurant here in town.
Yeah.
It's a soul food spot.
Yeah, it's a staple.
Exactly. Do her kids want to run it?
That's true.
I'm using it as an example. I know nothing about these families, so let me be very clear in that disclaimer. I know nothing about these people.
Right.
But I'm just thinking about, so often people see these restaurants and these businesses, these Black-owned businesses, as, it was our way and our family business. Yeah. But then you raise your kids to do something different. And it's like, when do we get to generational legacy of business? Right. When we're always starting over from zero. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I'm not a teacher. My mom was a teacher. Right. I'm not saying that that's a generational business. Right. But, I'm thinking about, like, how do you get think that? About that. Even though your kids have free will. Yeah. And then most parents, correct me if I'm wrong, you want your kids to excel and do better than your generation, than you did. So sometimes for them, that doesn't mean I'm coming back to hold down the business. That means I'm going to go do something else. I'm on Wall Street or wherever you're doing. That's like Uncorked. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. He wants to be a sommelier. He like, I want to work in this rib shack. Right. And then full circle, you're there. But yeah, I'm with you on that. With those businesses, especially our businesses, they do. A lot of them often shutter because there isn't someone who steps up or, heir apparent, like, you're going to take it over. Yeah, you're going to, scale it. You're going to expand. You're going to, Yeah, it's like, no, I don't want that. Or they don't see the value in it. Yeah. And they also see the hard work of it. Hello. They see all of it. I mean, honestly, if you're going to run a restaurant, you're up. Yeah. At the crack of dawn. You are. Making sure these recipes are right. Health inspections, cleaning it up, dealing with customers. Yes. And you're the last one out the door, mopping floors. Yep. Like, I can say I don't. Right. Exactly. Right. Think about that. You're the grandchild of, not even the child, the grandchild. And you're like, I don't do that. No, I'm tired. Yeah. So, yeah. I just saw that. I don't know if you saw that clip. It was a clip with Gordon Ramsay. He has a bunch of shows. I forget what show, but it's a restaurant, Black-owned restaurant, been around for 65 years. And, like, the matriarch is 101. And she was still in there early. And it was just a clip. But, like, she's tasting the food and she's telling one of the employees, like, you put too much sugar in it. And there are employees. Her son was one of them. But it's just making it to where she truly can, like, step back. You're 101 now, and then that kind of led itself to her granddaughter taking over. Not even so much her kids, but like, okay, it's even time for y'all, because if I'm 101, y'all old. Y'all 80. Like, let's get the grand 60. Right, and the great grand. I mean, what? Yeah. But to your point, 101, and she on her walker going in the restaurant. I was like, she should not have to do that unless she wants to. But yeah, I feel you. Yeah, legacy. We'll have Maya take over the podcast at some point. Yeah, Maya. Yeah. Tell her she's gonna be shocked. She would love it for all 3 minutes. Yeah. She'd be like, welcome. And then she's like, I don't do this no more. It's my baby. That is your baby. Baby. That is your child. So yeah. Okay, what else do people need to do when dealing with parentals? What else? Yes. Other than pray? Girl, pray. Pray. Other than the paperwork. What other tips would you say? First thing that comes to mind, enjoy it while it lasts. Like, the little things that, to me, are annoyances sometimes, like with my mom, like, I don't want to go to, fill in the blank. I have to shift my perspective a lot. And I'm like, you know what? This is me spending time with my mom. And look at it from that perspective. I may not feel like going. Right.
but we don't know when the end is coming.
Right.
So let me just go ahead and go. Let me go pick her up. Let me put this on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm starting to lean more into that. Like, look at it more from a perspective of you get to spend time with your parents.
I was fussing to a group of friends, you know, my group of friends, and I had to preface it about I'm exhausted, but I know that there are 4 of you in here that would give anything to be exhausted and have your mama back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the reality of it. You know, it's like so many, they ain't got mamas right here, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're right.
Yep.
Let me just go ahead and, you know, push through. And I want to enjoy it. Like when Shannon was here, she said, I'd rather do this with you than in memory of you.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm like, that's a good one.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I'd rather do this with you
Yep.
than in memory of you. And so whatever we can do to do with you, let's do it. So
yeah.
I will say also have the hard conversations.
Oh, yeah.
And not just about the paperwork and the logistics.
Right.
Work on healing the wounds and forgiving people. There's a lot of resentment that people still carry.
Yeah.
That, you know, I'm a talker. I'm gonna talk about the things.
Yeah, you are.
You know, I'm gonna talk about the things.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let everybody's there talking about the things. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But have some of those conversations. And when I choose to not have a conversation, it's not that I don't want to. I'm choosing because there's a reason. There's a reason behind it. And the strategy is, let me not rock this boat as I'm trying to get to here.
Right,
you know?
right. Yeah.
But have conversations. There are some conversations that my father and I have had in recent years, and I'm saying the past 5, that if you told me 10 years ago we'd never get here,
you'd be like, what? Who, me?
Who?
Yeah.
But having the conversations now, me living life, your grandma said, just keep living.
Yeah, come on.
And understanding that while you might not have agreed with every decision that was made, or every action, you also understand that people just be trying to figure it out, you know?
Yep.
And looking at generations and being like, okay, this might not have been the best situation. However, I know that you are trying based upon what you do.
Yes.
You know?
Yep.
And trying to progress and be better. So I hope that my own daughters give me the same grace when the time comes. You know? Because I know they're going to sit me down at some point and be like, let me talk to you real quick. I'll be like, I'm ready to hear it. You know?
Yeah.
I hope I'm ready to hear it at the time,
absolutely.
but I'm ready to hear it. But sometimes you got to have some of those conversations to get to the other side of understanding. Right. And then be like, okay, and here we are. Now, how do we move forward?
Yep. Yeah.
And
I agree with you there.
Have those.
No, you're right. And then things are left unsaid, and you're like, "Well, what do I can't do anything now." You know what I mean? I'm with you there. I think some of the hard conversations too, just going back to my mom, for me, is health, and it's not anything that's taboo, but just I am in my 40s. Mom, I didn't know that this is what's going on with me. Did you experience this when you were in your 40s? You know what I mean? Because for me, it's not like, I don't know that I was prepped, obviously, for Perry or for what, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just not, you know, and I'm so thankfully I have a good relationship with my mom, so I'm comfortable asking her stuff. And some stuff she's like, yeah, that's the, you know, she's able to explain it. Other stuff, well, you might want to go to the doctor.
I ain't got that.
I don't know what that is. But those conversations, even while we're still like living, for sure, like, okay, this seems weird. You know, and then obviously at the age I am now, my mom already had her kids and whatnot, but I don't have kids. So then even those conversations. Yes. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Baby girl went to the doctor.
Yeah.
And the doctor was like, does somebody in your family have a history of this? And she said, no. And then she calls me afterwards. She's like, we ain't got this, do we? I said, we all got that. She's like, for real? I said, how do you not know this?
Yeah.
And here's why I say, how do I not know this? I I have a document.
You
that has
do.
list every surgery.
You keep a document.
I keep a document that they have access to.
Yeah.
You know, right here, right now. You can pull it up. I'll tell you, if I go down right now, they can be like, she's taking all this right here.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? And that is what it is.
Yeah.
And so it has a list of all my surgeries, who did them, where they were, you know, all that stuff. And so I'm like, dude. She's like, oh, I'm going to go in there and tell them. You should go off, turn around, go right back inside and tell them this. Because if you're having these symptoms, chances are it's this too. You know, so my dad told me, he was like, we all got the bad ticker. Heart.
Yeah, I know for those.
But that's what he said. We all got a bad ticker. At our
age, we know that.
And exactly. But I know that on my paternal side, they do literally have bad hearts. You know, so the fact that I have a hole in my heart ain't that uncommon because everybody got the jacked up heart on this side. You know, so I'm like, oh, okay, now I know. Yeah, you know.
Yep.
So
the scary thing is to see. I think about like young athletes. And they don't find out until they've passed out on the court or whatever. Like, you know, LeBron James' son. Like, you don't know sometimes until you have an incident. And Lord willing, you know, he came through that. But, yeah,
it's true.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question. This is not on the paper, so.
Oh, Lord.
I know. You know I do this to you all the time, though.
Okay, then we're going to wrap up.
I know. We are.
Okay, bye.
But, we talked a lot about things that we need to do, you know, and how to parent our parents. What do you wish that your parents knew about this side? Like, you know, we're telling our 40 plus people what to do. But what do you wish that the parents knew and considered when in the same situation?
I'm trying to understand the question.
Like, for me...
Yes, tell yours.
For me, I know that I am trying to give you the best care possible and prolong your life, right? I wish sometimes that whomever is receiving the caregiving, because I had this with Christopher too, would understand and trust that I'm doing my absolute best.
Okay.
And give me some grace too.
Okay.
You know?
That's good.
Like, even I remember my mom with my grandmother, she was like, you have to say thank you more. And it wasn't that my grandmother wasn't grateful. Right. But in a long-term illness, in a long-term something, a little bit of appreciation goes a long way. Okay. Yep. And I see that my mother tells me thank you all the time. My mom paid, if I buy her a stick of gum, she was like, I gave you $5 for that gum. There wasn't no $5. No. Now with the tariffs, it might be $5. I don't know, because you know things are high. But she does, because she remembers how sometimes her mother would just assume that
that's what you're supposed to do.
And the groceries would just appear. Without, you know, and you know, while they of course take care of her, and all those things, and it wasn't ever a burden. Realistically, that shit's hard. And it hits your pocketbook and things, you know. So my mother is really clear about that, and I see her doing that intentionally. So I try to, you know, and I acknowledge that. So for me, it's just like, know that I will never do anything to maliciously hurt you. I'm doing the absolute best of my ability. And on the flip side, I would love for them to give me some grace when I don't always get it right, or when I am a little pushy, because I'm very much so afraid of losing my parents. You know, that's, I mean, I want to do right by them. And as the eldest...
Yes, you are, girl.
That's a lot.
You got a lot on you. Yes.
It's a lot on your back. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's not something I say as a shirking of responsibility. Right. But it's a lot. And I got to navigate my own life. And I got to pay my own bills. That too. Yeah, you got all that. I got to take care of my own kids. I got to, you know, be somebody's girlfriend. You know, like there's all this stuff, you know.
Speaking into existence.
You know, all these things. And so and you're trying to show up in all these spaces. So give me some grace too when I'm like,
that's good.
You know, trying to do things.
I will speak to my mom, and you mentioning grace. I wish my mother would give me sometimes more grace for my self-care practices because I learned them from her. So, you always taking a nap, or you wanted to... Yeah, Ma, because I seen you take naps. I grew up, you took off on your birthday. So don't make fun of me because I take off on my birthday. You never worked on your... You know what I mean? So it's just, well, yeah. And I say it to her, you know, and she'll be like, well, yeah, exactly. I learned it from you. But it's just, you can't do nothing unless you rest. Absolutely. I saw you rest. You worked hard, but you get a little piece of corner on the couch and doze off a little bit. So yeah, that'll be mine.
I like that one. You know, that's the same one probably Maya's gonna have.
Yeah.
Sidebar.
Yeah.
Maya was dyeing her hair a different color. And I was like, I don't know that color. I don't know about that. I don't like it.
Hot meat kettle.
And she pulled up a picture of me as a senior in college with the same hair color. She said, ain't this you?
Oh.
I said, oh, that is me.
Y'all don't like that, do you? Hello.
That is me.
Yep.
It did look good, didn't it?
Don't change your tune now. No. Mm-mm.
But I just said that to my mother.
Yep.
When I had some Daisy Dukes on.
You found a picture.
Long time ago.
Yeah.
I had these Daisy Dukes on.
Oh, sure.
And my mom was like, them shorts are too short. I said, but aren't these yours?
Come on.
She was like, it was a different time then.
Right. Y'all be trying to flip the script.
Right.
No. Booty shorts is booty shorts.
I
Different
said,
name.
Pot kettle. Pot
Yes.
kettle. Yes.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We get it from somewhere.
We do. We do. And you're blessed to have it.
We get it out. Hello. So yeah, that would be my answer.
That's funny. Okay. Yeah, I get it. I get it. That makes sense. Okay.
Yes.
So you guys have some homework.
Okay, give it to them.
Give it up the homework. So number one, let me know what else we should be doing as we're parenting parents. Like, what are you guys doing?
Oh, yeah.
Conversations. Are you capturing recipes? Are you, honoring traditions? Like, how are you being super intentional about prepping for obviously this next phase of life where we become caregivers again for our parents? That's number one.
What? How many you giving us?
2.
Okay.
22 assignments.
2. Okay.
And number 2.
My bad.
What do you wish that you could actually say to your parents to be like, hey, that helps them be better prepared to actually be on the receiving end.
Yes. Yeah.
Because it's hard. It's hard. You've been in control all this time.
Yeah.
You've been the CEO of your life all this time.
Come on.
And now I'm supposed to let you push me in a wheelchair? Like, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's a mind shift, And I don't want to burden my kids.
Hello.
So a lot of parents are like, I don't want to burden them, so I ain't gonna go. No. We're gonna go differently, And so, and it's okay. But what do you wish that we knew?
Right.
About how to navigate that and how we can better navigate. So
that's true.
Our viewers ain't just on the 40+.
That's right.
Seniors. So if you a senior,
if you're on the plus side, of
exactly.
That.
Let us know.
Okay.
So we can do better.
You can follow us.
Yes. Where can they find us?
You can on the social medias.
Yes.
Platforms, on YouTube, and wherever you listen to podcasts. Yeah. Like, comment, subscribe, share.
So to recap, we're back. Twice a month. It's a little different. Still on Tuesdays.
Yeah, but we're here.
And still fine. Oh, and I cut my hair. I didn't even miss my haircut. I'll save it till next time.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looked good though. It looks good in person. You're seeing it on camera. It looks really good in person.
Here we are. So, all right.
Okay.
Talk to you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.